So your Google ads are getting impressions, but no one's clicking on them, or your click-through rates are like really, really low. So what's the problem here? It's usually your headlines. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 7 easy ways to write headlines that grab attention and convert. So before we jump in though, if you don't know who I am, my name's Josiah Roche and I've helped businesses generate millions of dollars through Google Ads. So today we're going to talk about one of the most important parts of your ad, which is the headline. So it's the first thing people see, and it's often the thing that makes them decide whether or not they want to click on it or continue scrolling. So tip number 1 is using numbers to get attention. Okay, so people like numbers because they're easy to understand. You know, numbers give our brains something to process really quickly as opposed to words that might need a bit more interpretation. Okay, so it's backed by something called the concreteness effect, and it just means that our minds like specific, tangible, clear information instead of like vague concepts or ideas or imaginations. So it's a good idea to use numbers in your headlines to take advantage of this. So if you can imagine that you're a dentist and you offer teeth whitening, instead of saying something like "get a brighter smile," which is totally fine, you can add that headline in as a combination of your headlines, which is fine, "get a brighter smile," which we'll talk about later. You might want to say something as well that has numbers in them, like "whiten your teeth by 3 shades in 1 visit." You know, something like that. Very simple to understand. It's tangible. People can like latch onto that. Like it's very easy to remember. Numbers give people a clear idea on what to expect when they're clicking on your ad and make it more believable. Like people see the numbers there, they feel like you're being very specific. So it means that you've got your shit together and they know exactly what they're going to get out of that. Okay, so tip number 2 is putting keywords in the first pinning. Or the first position of your ad. So as you know, responsive ads, you get to choose in what order your ads go in, as pinning 1, pinning 2, or pinning 3. My recommendation is to make sure you're putting the keyword that you're bidding on, or what I like to use is a dynamic keyword insertion, into the first pinning of your headlines. If you don't know what that is, just type in DKI Google Ads and it should come up for you. But the reason why we do this, right, other than, you know, the Western world, we read left to right, there's another reason we do this in the first pinning. And the reason for that is when people are searching for something, they're usually in hunt mode, right? They're very like tunnel vision looking for something. Okay, so the brains are actively looking for answers to a specific thing. And so by placing the phrase or keyword that they're searching for right at the beginning on the left further aside of your headline, they're like crawling and scanning the search results to find the word that they typed in. So if you've put your keyword in the first headline pinning, it just immediately tells them that your ad is what they need. Like they're immediately scanning for patterns throughout that page, trying to find that exact keyword. So let's say that you're promoting a teeth whitening service again, right? So instead of "get your teeth looking amazing," you know, something kind of like that, which is, it's a decent headline. You could say something like "teeth cleaning in 30 minutes. Like use a number in there, but that wasn't the point. The point is using the keyword teeth whitening in there. Because if someone's looking for teeth whitening, they want to see the word teeth whitening if they typed in that exactly in that way. So by using dynamic keyword insertion and you're using it in the first pinning only, you can automatically swap between the search terms that you're bidding on for your search keywords. You can show that and display that exact term in the ad headline itself, and therefore you're taking advantage of this when people are in hunt mode. And the psychological effect behind this is called the primacy effect. So it means people focus more on the first piece of information they see, especially when they're in that hunt mode, right? So if your headline starts with exactly what they're looking for, then they're more likely to actually click on it because you've made it easy for them to find what they need. There's a big tip for you. Tip number 3 is to use more emotions in your headlines. I know a lot of people use Google Ads and they think it's got to be logical, like we're experts in this, and that you feel like you got to sell yourself too much. But really it works against you when you're doing that, because the thing is people want a specific thing when they're trying to solve a problem. Usually there's a desired outcome, an end result, and they're looking for that thing. And so if you can have that thing in your headline, you're at least priming them to expect they'll get what they're looking for on the actual landing page if they click through this ad. And I'll go through this, why this works with emotion, which is people make decisions based on how they feel. Okay, so even more than logic. So normally, you've probably heard this saying before. It's like people buy with emotion and justify with logic. It's like a common thing in the marketing world. Since this happens and people make decisions based on how they feel in the moment, this is actually called the affect heuristic in psychology. And it's just a fancy way of saying that emotions drive our choices. Okay, so basically our current state of mind or emotion drives the decisions that we make right now. It's kind of why, what's it called? Seasonal affective disorder, I think it's called, SAD, which is where when it rains, usually there's less sales on rainy days compared to sunny days. It's because even the weather can affect our moods, which in turn affect sales. And you might already know this yourself, that emotions play a big part. So if you can tap into how someone feels in your headline, it just becomes that much more powerful, especially if it's to do with the desired outcome of what they're wanting or to relate to a pain that they're going through right now. So for example, instead of just offering a dental checkup, you can say something like feel confident with a healthy smile. So there are a few things at play there. They're usually insecure about how they feel with their smile when they're smiling. And so that triggers other emotions of self-doubt, feeling unattractive, feeling not confident. And so the desired state is obviously to feel confident. So how can we put that in our headline? Well, for obvious reasons, we put feel confident with a healthy smile and to have something that's healthy. So it taps into a few psychological triggers with the emotional desire at play of them wanting to feel confident. And so since people buy on emotion, you need to cycle and sift these into your headlines as well as logic and numbers and things like that. It's a fine balance of that art and science that we talk about. So tip number 4 is to create a sense of urgency in your ads when you can help it. So people hate missing out on something, especially if it feels limited. So this is tied to what's called loss aversion, which simply means we're more motivated to avoid losing something than to gain something. Okay, so if your headline makes them feel like they need to act now, they'll be more likely to do it. So for instance, if you're running a promotion for teeth whitening, instead of just saying discount on teeth whitening of 20%, you could say something like only 5 spots left, 50% off all teeth whitening. You know, something like that, when it's like creating that sense of urgency and limited availability. So now they feel if they don't act fast, they'll miss the chance of getting that deal, right? So creating that sense of urgency, because people don't want to feel like missing out on something, is a really, really good opportunity in your headlines, and it pushes them to act sooner, which it means just improving your click-through rate and getting them to that next step. So tip number 5 is to ask a question. So questions naturally grab our attention because they make people think about something. So when you ask a question, the brain wants to find the answer or the closed loop on that open loop, right? So it's called information gap theory. So it makes people curious and makes them want to click more. And so hence, if you're adding curiosity, it increases your click-through rate. So for example, let's use the dentist one again. So you might ask, are your teeth stained from coffee? And this creates that question that gets them thinking about their own situation and whether or not they need the service you're offering. So they're thinking, oh, wow, my teeth are stained from coffee. How did you know? I'm going to click more, you know? So it basically helps, you know, tap into a conversation or a sub-thought that they've already thought about in the past and brings that back to surface. And then they want to, you know, obviously explore that. Oh, okay, I didn't think about the coffee bit. Let's go into that, see if they can relate to what I'm going through right now. You know, something like that. Questions trigger our curiosity, making people feel more likely to engage with your ad because they want to answer that question, see if it applies to them. So tip number 6 is to use power words. So certain words make people feel like they're getting something valuable or they feel important or whatever. So words like free or instant or exclusive really grab the attention because they tap into our desire for getting quick results or some special treatment or whatever. So these are what's called power words. For example, if you're offering a dental consultation, don't just say like book a consult. You could say something like book a free consultation today, like just little injections here and there, like increases the click-through rate a little bit. But there are hundreds and thousands of, well, probably not thousands, but there are hundreds of power words that you can use, a lot of lists. Just type in power words online and you'll come up with like hundreds and hundreds of lists like ultimate or shocking or unbelievable, top, proven. All these words like passionate, reassuring, knowledgeable, trustworthy, like you can tap into a lot of these and try to see how they fit into your ad for your specific industry. Because you got to use them tastefully, of course. You can't have like clickbait or things like that, because it'll just destroy the intention of your ad itself. So with power words, you're really tapping into making people feel like they're getting something special, or there's something they didn't know about, or some proven concept, or whichever one you want to choose. It just helps improve the click-through rate of your ads. So tip number 7 is to keep a low reading level and keep your ads simple. So people don't want to spend too much time figuring out what you're trying to offer them. So the simpler and more direct your headline, the easier it is for them to understand. So this ties into what's called the cognitive fluency. And so it just means that people prefer things that are easy to think about, right? So instead of something that's like, enhance your dental health with comprehensive services, like it's just over the top, it's a high reading level, it's just being way too formal for your own good. So you can say just something as simple as like, get a healthier smile today. Like, it's a lot easier to say than, enhance this and experts and blah, blah, blah. Like, who gives a shit about that stuff? Just keep it simple. Don't make people think. I like to think of a really busy CEO, depending on my niche, right? Really busy CEO. They're smart as they've had a really busy day that's hard, like trudging through lots of meetings and documents or whatever. Lots of work. By the time it's like 7 p.m. at night, they're nearly drained, like their mental energy is drained. They've pretty much gassed out, and they're looking online for something for the specific service. But they don't really have that much in the tank, right? You get what I'm saying? And so my idea is like, I get it. They're a smart dude or they're a smart person, and they want to look for this thing, but they don't want to try too hard about it. So how can I make this ad as simple, stupid as possible? I'm not insulting their intelligence here. I'm just tapping into psychology, making things a bit simpler. What we discussed earlier, that when we're processing information, we burn calories. And so there's this thing inside of us where we're trying to protect those calories subconsciously, or the burning of calories, so that we're preserving it, right? And so whenever we've got more in-depth information, you're burning more calories because it's harder to process, right? More harder information. Kind of makes sense. So what you'll try to do is try to make the reading level as low as possible, make the ad as simple as possible, while tapping into those psychological triggers and emotions and numbers, so that you can increase the likelihood that that busy CEO who's just had a hard day's work will click on your ad despite all this stuff. So that's it. 7 tips for writing simple, effective Google Ads headlines. So the key takeaway here is that people respond to clarity, emotion, numbers, urgency, and simplicity. Okay, so it's a mixture of science and art, as you can tell from everything I'm telling you now, because you're trying to pull different psychological levers at the same time, right? So if you can use these in your headlines, your ads will get clicked on, you'll get noticed more, and you'll start increasing your sales or leads. Anyway, that's all we have time for today. If you enjoyed everything, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.